The billboards start teasing as you get closer and closer. We saw our first one about 80 miles from the destination. You actually keep looking for them because they are so clever with sayings like, I like big Buc-ee's and I cannot lie, or meet me at the jerky station. I was skeptical of all the hype and it being a glorified gas station and convenience store, but I was wrong. Very, very wrong. Welcome to Roaming Yeti's Travel Beyond the Guidebook, where we help our busy fellow adventurers maximize their limited vacation time. I'm your host and head Yeti, Beth Scalacci. I'm here to share stories, hidden gems, and insider tips to help you plan trips that are unique and meaningful to you. In each episode, I delve into the world of pop culture destinations, theme parks, roadside attractions, and nostalgic locations. And you know what? We're uncovering their secrets and backstories. Are you ready? Let's roam! Welcome to today's episode about Buc-ee's and our first experience of it, as well as our second and, well, our third as well. I had heard a lot about Buc-ee's, seen the Instagram reels, watched some vlogs on YouTube, plus, who doesn't love a clean bathroom on a road trip? And quite frankly, a reason to try new food. So we were driving from Cincinnati to Orlando in December, and when I looked at our route, I knew we were going to have to take a bit of a detour because I wanted to visit the world's largest Buc-ee's. Well, at least it was the largest as of December 2023. Apparently, they are building an even larger one in Texas as we speak. So not only was this a visit to the largest Buc-ee's located in Sevierville, Tennessee, which is just next to Pigeon Forge and Dollywood, it was also our first trip to any Buc-ee's. And yes, I was this close to Dollywood and did not go. But someday it's on the to visit list. But I can't just leave something alone. I had to take a look into how Buc-ee's got started. So let's take a little look at the history of Buc-ee's. Here I go. Narrator voice. Ready? Just kidding. In 1982, Arch Beaver Applin III laid the foundation for what would become later the Beaver Empire, shall we call it, Buc-ee's. This might be my new Roman empire, is the Buc-ee's empire. But drawing inspiration from his childhood nickname and faithful Labrador Retriever Buck, Applin opened a modest 3,000 square foot convenience store in Clute, Texas. The initial venture already set itself apart by prioritizing cleanliness and affordability, and it had the motto clean, friendly, and in stock. From the period of 1985 to 2003, Buc-ee's had a slow and steady growth across Texas. Though it started as just another convenience store, it distinguished itself quickly with a commitment to customer satisfaction, as well as cleanliness. And Arch Applin, alongside his partner, Don Wazik, see, there I am, continued to refine their customer-centric philosophy during this phase. The turning point actually came in 2003 with the opening of the Laling location, a sprawling 60,000 square foot travel center featuring not only convenience items, but also food, souvenirs, and entertainment. And this model marked the beginning of Buc-ee's transformation into the massive and unique destination we know today. So then from 2004 to 2017, Buc-ee's experienced explosive expansion. It broke world records with each new locations, with notable achievements including having the largest convenience stores and the longest car wash in Katy, Texas. Their introduction of what are called beaver nuggets, which we will talk about later, during this period also solidified their status as a snack empire. And we move into 2018, and this is when they started venturing beyond Texas. They established their first location in Alabama, and then national expansion popping up in Georgia, Florida, Kentucky, South Carolina and Tennessee, with plans more to come. I know there's one going in Virginia, I think around the Roanoke area, if I remember correctly. The company has also diversified its offerings. It has electric charging stations, and it's always looking for new product lines. But its legacy is really a Texas icon, and it's celebrated for its immaculate bathrooms, which I will attest to, friendly service, which I will also attest to, and a very distinctive shopping experience. So I mean, it's a cool place. Like I said, I didn't believe it. I did not want to believe the hype, but I get it now. I really get it. So let's just sort of dive into our first experience to see sort of why I'm hooked now. We didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. Again, I saw the videos, I saw the reels, but you just, it doesn't, until you see it in person, you don't understand how huge and grand it is. You pull in this huge parking lot, and just the sheer number of gas pumps. I think the one we were at had 124 pumps. I mean, it's mind-boggling. And plus, you've been in a car, like you've been in your vehicle for several hours, and you've been with the people that are in the car, and you pull into this place and you walk into this enormous building, and it's overwhelming. So you're sort of acclimating yourself again to being out of the car, being around people, and then you're greeted as you walk in the door with a welcome to Buc-ee's by super friendly employees behind the cash register. And then the next thing you're sort of hit with is these intoxicating aroma of, depending on time of day, like it's either going to be brisket or it's going to be the cinnamon from their candied nuts. On our first visit, it was lunchtime, so it was brisket. The next time when we went in the morning, it was the cinnamon. It's just, from the very first impression, you're just sort of like taken how different this is going to be. So, I have to be honest, we were sitting in the car for a good 4 hours at that time. So my number one goal when we first got there was I was heading straight to the restrooms. I did not let myself get distracted by anything else at that point. I had heard how large and clean they were, so I was really hoping for no line. There was a line, but it went really quick. But what I saw that really sort of was my first impression was there was artwork hanging on the walls. Like the walls were covered with all different pieces of artwork, and they were for sale. Now, I don't know this for sure, but I'm guessing they were probably from local artists, because in each of the 3 locations we were in, the artwork was very different. So I don't know sort of what the story is, but that's going to be my guess. But it was such a welcoming experience from when you're typically walking into, these gas stations for a bathroom break. But that was the first impression. The bathrooms are indeed big and clean. They have those locks on them, those really nice locks that tell you whether the stall is occupied or not, which I love. I remember seeing those and having them a lot in Paris. I really, please, if you have a commercial, please add these. Disney, I'm begging you, please. But we found out later, we saw a sign advertising wages, and the restroom attendants make $20 an hour. So, they are definitely motivated to do a great job. I even feel like people saw the employees working so hard that they did their part to not trash up the bathroom and take care of it as well. Sort of wiping around sinks when they were done. And I don't know, maybe it's not always like this, and maybe it was just something I noticed, but it sort of restored a little faith in humanity in me right there in a restroom in Tennessee. So, all right, enough potty talk. I get it. But they are clean. They're wonderful. Enjoy. Let's talk merch. Their merchandise, with Buc-ee the Beaver on it. I fell in love with him. He's so cute. Yes, I bought a shirt. But there is everything from the inflatables, those inflatables at Christmas. Well, there's a Buc-ee's one. yeah, I almost bought it. Not gonna lie. They had yard games, clothing. They have onesie pajamas to shirts, hats. There's stuffed animals. There's pins. There's ornaments. You name it, it has their mascot on it. Um, I think one of the biggest takeaways from me with the merch was the prices were super reasonable. Maybe it's because I'm used to buying Disney merch at the parks, but we bought just a really nice basic t-shirt for $13. And, I know the volume that they print. This is the marketing business side of me is gonna get a little geeky here, sorry. But at the volume they print, $13 is still a good markup. But I honestly think that they view their merchandise as a marketing tool rather than a profit center, because the more people who buy and advertise for them and are wearing the Buc-ee stuff out, I just think it's genius. So kudos to them for keeping pricing under control. We didn't spend, there's other housewares and other clothing and stuff beyond the merch, but we were sort of focused on what we were looking for. We just wanted our Buc-ee the Beaver stuff. So main event, food. Um, Before we left, I of course did a little research, as I always do. I wanted to see what the most popular items were and to give a try. And these were the most popular that I saw mentioned the most often in videos, blog posts, or whatever. But the jerky bar, the coffee bar, brisket, you would hear the sound fresh brisket on the board from time to time. Every time they pulled a new brisket out to chop for sandwiches. They have a bakery, their private label chips and candies, their beaver nuggets, and they have 20 different flavors of fudge. So that's what I had heard about. But let's talk about what we tried firsthand. Okay, we did do the brisket. John had to have a brisket sandwich. He said it was really good. It was fresh, and I trust him. He has eaten brisket in many barbecue places around the country, and for him to say he would have it again, that's a great indicator. It was a very big sandwich, very full of meat. I had something they call the club melt sandwich, and I was not ready for this sandwich to be this good. It was a hot sandwich. It had ham, turkey, bacon that has some really good smoky taste to it. It had a melted cheese and then some kind of sort of spicy sauce, but it wasn't overly spicy. It was just right. A really soft roll. It was so good. It was huge. I had to split it with John and Julia. But I would definitely get it again. And honestly, as much as I would like a Buc-ee's close, it's probably good that, because it'd be too tempting to stop in there for lunch. Julia was the sensible one among us and had the chicken salad wrap, which she said was really good. As a matter of fact, she did get a second one when we were coming home and went by a Buc-ee's. House-made chips, they make potato chips in-house, and they come in little bags. They're really good. They sort of had them heated up, but they were a very good complement to what to our sandwiches. Beaver nuggets. Once you just get done giggling about the name, I'd heard about them. So I went over into the convenience store and I wanted to get just some stuff to put in the truck for later consumption, later on the road, in the hotel room or whatever. And I knew I wanted to try the beaver nuggets. And these are like a corn puff covered in a sweet caramel-like coating. I'm not going to say full caramel popcorn. It was more like a crunch and munch than a Cracker Jack, if that makes sense to you. It had more of sort of a honey taste to it. It was definitely good. It wasn't my favorite. I do like a darker caramel. I'm more of a Cracker Jack kind of girl, but that's a personal preference. But I would definitely get them again. They were a good snack. They were fun to have on the road. So I would definitely recommend. I also got their white cheddar nuggets, again, similar to the beaver nuggets, but savory. It tasted a lot like the cheese puff, which, I'm not mad about at all. It was good. Maybe a little too salty for me, but again, I would suggest trying them, and I would probably give them another chance. Sometimes I don't know if my taste buds are just sensitive or not. Um, and then we had the candied cashews and pecans. We got these on 2 of 3 of our stops. Nothing fancy, but they are freshly made, which makes a huge difference. Cinnamon sugar and I think another spice in there, I'm not sure, but these were so good. When we walked in the morning and they were freshly being made, you could smell that cinnamon. It was chef's kiss, I'm telling you. Now, so that was that was just our first stop. Yes, we ate a lot of food and we packed a lot of food to go with us. And then on the way home from our trip, we stopped at two more Buc-ee's. We stopped in the morning and had a breakfast taco. That's what John got. He said it was basically like a breakfast burrito, but very good. Definitely would get again. Um, Julia and I got something called a beaver tail. Okay, let's talk. We need to talk about these beaver tails. We went to the bakery case to see what they had for breakfast, and I asked the woman behind the case, I'm like, "What's your favorite thing in here?" And she said, "You have to try the beaver tail." I was like, "Great, wrap them up. Let's take them. Let's try them." And she did not steer us wrong. It's this flaky baked dough, literally the size of a beaver tail with some cinnamon sugar on it, some drizzle of icing. It was fresh. It was big. It was flaky. It was so, so good. Not what you would expect to find at a gas station, okay? Not some fresh baked good. Um, I know that there's beaver tails that are fried dough, but this is definitely baked and was almost like a puff pastry texture. If you like pastries, make sure you get one of these. We did try then also for breakfast. We tried their coffee bar that they're known for. That was one of the things I read about. Now, this is not like a latte. Go up and order your drink. They have fresh brewed coffee in urns, and then they have flavored syrups and all kinds of creamers. I sort of made my own little concoction. It did what I needed it for in the morning. Am I probably more of a latte girl? Probably. They did have some cold brew. I did not try that, but there's definitely options, much better than choices and things you can do. So definitely, if you're in the need of a coffee, go for it. This was a late discovery because we grabbed bottles of waters and tea on our first stop, but Julia discovered that there are private labeled Buc-ee's soda. And they had flavors like orange cream, pineapple cream, mango, and cherry lime. Julia gave the cherry lime a try. She said it was a little sweet, but she really liked it, and she was sort of bummed we figured it out on like our last stop, so she couldn't get more. Now the next one is an impulse buy, and it's something I get to sort of test how bakeries are. It was a Rice Krispie square, and I'm glad I grabbed it. It was nice and chewy, nice and gooey, not overly sweet. It was just done right. So very, very good impulse buy for that one. Um, and lastly, we picked up a fudge sampler pack. Now we ended up eating this once we got home. But I'm gonna say this was, I had heard about it, but I didn't have high expectations. I'm not gonna lie. But I think Julia's review of it will tell you everything you need to know. And here's her review. Gas station fudge has no right to be this good. She's not wrong. I have had a lot of like beach resort fudge in my life, and this beats it, like hands down. I can't even tell you. The chocolate fudge was good. I mean, chocolate fudge was good, don't get me wrong. But the real winners, there was a key lime fudge. Oh my gosh. I was so sad when the piece was gone. And then a salted caramel, which had flakes of salt on the fudge. I mean, seriously, it was so good. We had a ton of fun, and we will definitely grab some of our favorites next time we make it into a Buc-ee's. Um, I will give you one heads up. There is no place to sit inside or outside of Buc-ee's. I did some looking. I tried to figure out why this might be, but I can't seem to find a reason why. So we ate outside. We were standing next to a lamppost, used the ledge on it. It was fine. It was a beautiful day. It felt great actually to get out of the car and stand for a few minutes before getting back in the truck. So it's not a huge deal, but just something to remember. So, you might want to grab a few extra napkins if you're going to be eating in the car. Just keep that in mind. I do wish, and this is just me showing my age probably, I wish they had a few more healthier, lighter options. It's entirely possible I missed them. Remember I said it was overwhelming. And I don't always like to eat heavy food, especially before getting in a car for several hours. I know that sounds dumb because, as far as I'm concerned, road trip calories don't count. But when you do have a little heartburn issue from time to time, you want something a little lighter, when you're riding in the car. But I have to say, like, no problems with the selections. I think because they were fresh and, weren't sitting around all day, it was good. So yay. We'll take that win. I did have one disappointment though. We didn't get to see the Buc-ee's character who sometimes walks around the store. Sort of like the meet and greet with Buc-ee, but that's okay. It's good to have goals. Someday I'll get my picture with him. But it's just funny how much of a cult following, and I get it now. Like, I'm joining. I'm part of the Buc-ee's cult now. I got it. Another thing I do want to call out is how friendly and helpful the employees are. They just genuinely seem happy to be there. Now, I will say, they're getting compensated and trained with a living wage. So kudos to leadership. Customer service can make or break you. And this was just pleasant and consistent. It was consistent in every stop. So thank you for that, team. So, what other tips, advice can I offer you? Don't get overwhelmed. This place is huge. There are so many food options. And I am one, when I'm hungry, I sort of shut down and I do get overwhelmed. But I made sure I did a couple laps. I took options before deciding. But like, just take a minute and walk around and see what's there. There's so many good things. There's going to be something you'll really regret if you don't. Like, it's just good and it's fun. Definitely take a look at their packaged snacks that you can, pack in the truck for later or pack in the vehicle for later. They have some really cool options. I really wish I would have grabbed a few more. They have like a whole wall of gummies, and candy and snacks. So definitely make sure you check those out as well. The lines go quickly. If you see a long checkout line, don't deter that from trying something. Get in line. It doesn't take long. And the fudge, seriously, try the fudge. It has no business being that good. Like I said, the chocolate was fine. But if you're in the key lime flavored stuff, key lime pie or salted caramel, please give it a try. Stuff lives rent free in my head to this day. So like I said, going into this, I didn't know what to expect. I'd seen the videos, but I don't always trust everyone's opinions on food unless I know them personally. So it was good. We enjoyed it. And I get it. Buc-ee's is not going to be for everyone. Is it gourmet food? No, it's not. But it's better than a lot of roadside food I've eaten over the years, whether they have gas pumps or not. Would I drive a little further to stop at a Buc-ee's? Yes. Yeah. Look, I love you, Sheetz and Wawa, but Buc-ee's is playing on a whole different level. Sorry. Still whole different level. Have you been to a Lucky's? Like, let me know your favorite thing to get there so that, I'm already compiling a list for next time I get near one. So please let me know what your favorites. And also, Buc-ee's, if you're listening, can you please come up north a little more? Maybe along Route 15 on the way from Pennsylvania to New York. Just saying, please consider it. Well, anyway, guys, I hope these episodes inspire you to get out and roam and use those vacation days to your fullest. Please follow or subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And if you like what we're doing here, please tell a friend, leave a review, leave a rating. It helps so much to help other people discover us. Make sure you follow on Instagram or Facebook. Just search for the Roaming Yeti, and we'll talk to you soon. And remember, keep roaming.